We weren't recording there. I just did my whole intro. Now we're recording. Welcome to the channel, my AKAPADers. Happy Monday. Monday with the screens down because, well, it's still early. It's just a little too early. But cheers to all of you. Get yourselves a nice little puppy mug. I love odd mugs. It's actually something. Sabrina's here in Philly. They're known for random coffee mugs when you sit down and order. I always thought that was the coolest idea. So here in House AKAPAD, we have plenty of random coffee mugs. But anyway, speaking of randomness, I apologize. No drop Saturday, no drop Sunday. The reason why, well, big Philly sports days. We had Sixers, we had Phillies. Had to go to the Phillies game on Saturday, watch them beat the Rockies. It's just a lot of stuff happening. But here we go. So throughout the weekend, I guess it's somewhat confirmed that Jonathan Majors is either out or will be recast as Kang. No surprise there, but the big surprise was and the link for the story is down below. We had a revelation leak out that the higher ups of Warner Brothers, the higher ups of Disney or Discovery, Warner Brothers Discovery, they pretty much came down on James Gunn and they blamed him for the failure of Shazam Fury of the Gods. I'm long standing, and when I got into the run of doing some of these like news driven or hot take driven videos, I'd like to say, and yeah, I've been on record saying this, I'd like to say, you kind of identify a potential like issue, like you identify something that's happening, you have to talk about it. It's going to be negative, it's going to be something to the point of a very major, like a giant movie failing, people losing jobs, people losing money. These are things you hope you're wrong about. And through the course of this channel, since we've been doing this, I mean, we like a lot of almost all of everything for Quantumania identified and nailed became true. A lot of this James Gunn stuff now with this article, identified is true. James Gunn, with his DC reboot announcement, derailed roughly 3 movies, and he's doing his best to save Blue Beetle. He said that Blue Beetle is episode 1 of this new DC universe. He's still, sacrificing Shazam Fury of the Gods, Aquaman, Lost Kingdom, and the only thing driving people to Flashpoint is the Bat. So he's to blame for this. And so many of you come after me in these comments, and you act like James Gunn is some golden idol, that he made Guardians of the Galaxy, took a zero into the hero, and you did the same with Suicide Squad, and you did the same with Peacemaker. I'll say, everyone I've spoken to, Suicide Squad really falls on didn't like. I feel like that movie has some really good through lines. I think it's ballsy. I think he did everything he should have done to make Suicide Squad. I don't think that movie could have been any better or worse. I think it's a great movie. I think a lot of his other work is great. But the idea that you can go to be highly creative going into a CEO executive level position that is usually for CEO positions of this stature, you're groomed for many years, and you're not between 2 major film companies, Warner Brothers and Disney. You're not between 2 companies making separate movies, separate franchises. You're groomed as a CEO, and you're placed into that position, and a lot of times you're co-CEO. You get 2 guys, and one learns underneath the other. James Gunn getting this slot says only one thing. It cries desperation from DC Universe, from Warner Brothers, with the idea that putting him in place and giving him a title is going to get everyone behind him, and then he can individually hype up these movies, drive them, and you get a little bit more bump. And the funny thing is, here's the shocker: Shazam Fury of the Gods is not a bad movie. It's actually pretty decent. Now, some of the optics I thought wouldn't really appeal to people. That's that was the big position there. I feel like the villains, the imagery, the ideas that they had to sell that movie wasn't quite there. And someone in James Gunn's position can reframe a little bit what we're seeing and direct us into that movie. But James Gunn's a creative genius. James Gunn knows how to write. He knows about characters. I still feel that Superman Legacy, which is now like super greenlit, that's like they're calling it fast track. That movie is going to break with the casting of Superman. There's no one that he can get that will make us like collectively, because you need people, everyone needs to be unified for Superman Legacy. He's not going to be able to select someone that's going to beat Henry Cavill, because we've spent so much time looking at him and we know him as an actor, as a person, has more time to give into that role. So everything else is unacceptable. I think they got lucky with Robert Pattinson with Batman, because again, like, no one wanted Robert Pattinson as Batman, no one wanted Joaquin Phoenix as Joker, but they got lucky. Like those, now we're dealing with true intent. We're dealing with true connectivity, with continuity. There's so much more at stake. There's so much more at risk. The approach for all of this should be, we're getting a new Superman movie, period, not connected to anything. That really should have been his position for Superman Legacy, and not trying to be this architect, because it's just not working. And the higher ups at DC now know, or the higher ups at Warner Brothers now know the potential. I mean, they're going to lose big on Aquaman. They're going to lose big on Blue Beetle. The studio itself might be out of steam and money, or resources, or opportunities by the time he even gets to Legacy. And that's the reason why he's streamlining the movie super fast to get that into production, in case anything bad happens, so they cannot drop the hammer on it. It's a very important idea, and this article, I feel like, only hits the top of the iceberg, because again, sometimes we know things were said, we know things were done, but the actual like drill down information, the specifics of it all isn't quite there. But always holding out hope, right? AKA Padders, always holding out hope. Prove me wrong. Give me a great Aquaman movie. Give me a great Blue Beetle movie. Give me a great Superman reboot. Make it great. Let's go. Rock and roll. I love you guys. Subscribe, support, leave a comment.